So thank you for joining us today.
No problem. Thank you for having me. My name is Curt Burnett, aka Coach B Coach. Um, I'm a community worker, community sports coach. I work with kids in the inner cities, and I've been doing it for like the last, I would say, ten years plus. Initially, I'm from St. Vincent in the Caribbean, small island, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I came here when I was 8, 9 years old, and I've been here ever since. Sports have always been an interest of mine. When I was younger in the Caribbean, we played a lot of soccer, played cricket. When I came here, uh, played soccer also, but gravitated to basketball, and then that's what I chose, and I've sort of stuck with it ever since then. Actually, just through television, just watching it on TV. I remember watching like Magic Johnson play, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I just kept watching it more and more. And then I just one day decided, let me try this, and tried it, loved it, and didn't look back. We have the drop-in basketball program, as you know, that is just a space where kids can come and just express themselves, like whether it's on the court. And when you've been to some of those, you see like kids will come and talk to me. It's an open forum. It's a relaxed forum. It's just where you can just come and sort of let your hair down, just relax and not be stressed out. I try to make it an inclusive, safe environment for kids to come and feel good. It's a small fraction of their day or their life, but any little bit helps, right? So there's that. We have a food cart program where we try to help a few families every month by giving them food carts, help with the shortfall of certain things. It's
hard dribble, set it up. There you go.
Name's Diddy. I've been in this program for about 4 or 5 years now. It's just helped me out with ball, like life and whatnot. A great, outgoing, understanding, compassionate person who's passionate about the game of basketball. In terms of like life, he's helped me out with coaching and whatnot. You know, he's helped me because he's a coach. He's helped me, you know, help teach me how to coach other kids and whatnot.
Yeah, I think they changed the time. I don't even know. What is it, 10 now? 11? We have the mentoring program where we try to pair youth with professionals in their field of interest to sort of give them an idea of what it would take and to get there. Um, like all the programs are literally just to the betterment of people.
So I'm actually in university right now. I'm studying civil engineering at Lassonde School of Engineering at York University. I have known Coach Curt for about 4 to 5 years. I think I started to know him in 2018. So actually, I had one of my friends playing basketball here, and I think one day we just hung out to play basketball, and he's like, oh, why don't you come join us over here? And that's when I met Coach Curt. He's definitely helped me with a lot of self-confidence, because when I first came here to play basketball, I didn't think I was good at all. He definitely pushed me to be better. We went through a lot of hard work, so I guess you could say that transferred into my adulthood life, where I'm like, okay, now I need to push myself, I need to work harder, because that's what he does in there. He makes everyone work hard, pushes everybody to do better. So basically, right now, I really don't have any networking, right? So I reached out to Coach and I said, hey, he had a program going on with a girl named Andrea, where they were trying to help youth network and get into their field of study, get their foot in the door. And that's actually what he's helping me do right now. He's trying to just help me get my foot in the door with an engineering company to do manual work, to do anything just to get my foot into the door, which, yeah.
Well, the basketball program that I couldn't do anymore because of the COVID, because the gyms were closed. But it actually opened up another avenue that I never thought, that I never focused on, which was the mental health of some of the students that I help with and some of the families, and the food cart program. So it's just that actually brought more to my attention the need for help in certain areas. Like, because once COVID closed, when COVID came and a lot of businesses closed, a lot of people, like, life still goes on. You know what I mean? Like, people were still struggling. People were still, like, barely getting by as it was. And then the mental health part of it, where, like, I got a lot of calls from kids that are just like, can we do something? So then, like, you know what I mean? Like, I started to take walks with some of them and just sort of pay more attention to their mentals. You know what I mean? Like, I did, but not as much as I think I should have. My skin color, I would say, would be my biggest obstacle, because a lot of people have a lot of stereotypes. So when I was younger and I was a kid, and even as a teenager, people treated me in a way based on how they thought I was based on my skin color. So they see a young black man and they assumed I was aggressive and whatever they assumed. So I was actually treated in a way based on my skin color, and I was never that person. Like, you would get aggressive after you've been sort of talked to a certain way or approached a certain way, but it was just a reaction to an action that was taken against me because of my skin color. My son called me one day and he was like, oh, I got a ticket. I'm like, okay, what do you got a ticket for? And he's like, oh, I got a ticket, and the officer wrote me a ticket for not having my seatbelt on, but I had my seatbelt on and I took it off. And I'm like, well, why did you get stopped? He goes, I don't know. I asked him why I got stopped. And he sort of ignored that, and he was rude, he was disrespectful. So I was like, well, it happens. I've had this talk with him from before, from when he was like 12, 13. It was his first time, I think, behind the wheel of a car, and it really bothered him. You know what I mean? Like, I was hoping he wouldn't get that experience, because I remember my first experience like that, but he did. And it's just, to me, it just, like, I keep hearing people saying, oh, things are getting better. I just don't know where they see that or how they see it, but it isn't, because I really shouldn't be having the same experiences that my son has, like 20 years later, if things are getting better. You know what I mean? Like, so he's met the same institutional racism that I've met. And it's like really? 20 years later, you're still trying to do this? And
Can you guys get to a rim?
basketball for me was the one thing where I controlled everything that I did. It was that one thing where when I got on the basketball court, I knew what I was going to do. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew how to do it. It was my space. It was me being in charge of me, being in control of what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And I think sports is very much, it does teach you a lot of other things, you know what I mean? Like self-reliance and all that other stuff. But I think the way it helps you develop an individual's strength, even if you're part of a team, because you still need to do your part. I think it develops an individual strength that a lot of people need.
I saw that. What are you doing? You missed the crossover.
My son has known Coach Curt since JK, so 2016. And anytime Coach offers some sort of extracurricular program, Mickey is chomping at the bit to do it, and always benefits from it in so many different ways. I don't know, whenever I see my son in his class, I see the biggest smile that I really could see on my son's face. He just smiles ear to ear. It's a mixture of confidence, skill, and he taps into the fun side. They just trust him. They just trust him so much.
It's a passion of mine, yeah. I'm truly passionate about helping people. I've seen that my whole life. My grandparents, my parents, I've seen them do that. So that's something that's what I would say my passion is, helping others, making sure everybody sort of achieves their full potential. That's what I really would like to. I think my greatest fear is to be a disappointment to my son and my mom. I think that's my greatest fear. I don't fear many things. I mean, heights, yeah, but that's just whatever that is. But I think my greatest fear would be if I was a disappointment, or if I were to disappoint my son or my mom. That would be my greatest fear, to do that. to have that.
I just appreciate it, and I just hope he keeps doing what he's doing. And, you know, like maybe down the years when I get older, I could do the same thing he did, right? And just kind of carry on his legacy and whatnot.
In 5 years, I'd like to be able to have my own building just where I could host my programs. Do you know what I mean? Like the basketball programs, the reading programs. I'd like to have that. 3 years, I would like to get more funding, because I do this without a lot of funding. But like a substantial funding where I can like sort of expand it, like because a lot of my younger kids like who are now in college or going to high school, I would actually like to be able to employ them so that they can actually come back and give back and be part of it. Like I don't want this to be like a one-man show. It's something I want to grow and get everybody involved in, and it can sustain itself or have someone sustain it. You know what I mean? Like I want it to carry on whether I'm here or not. So the goal would be to sort of get enough funding where I can expand the programs, bring my kids back into the programs, and keep it going. Sort of just like you helped, you come back, and now you can help the next generation, they come back, sort of. So it's a continual process. And I don't necessarily need to be here for it to continue. That will be the goal, for it to continue whether I'm here or not. Yeah, legacy, that's the word. I would like to establish a legacy, yes.
And I just want to say you articulated everything in a beautiful way.
Thank you.
And I'm glad I met you, and thank you for sharing your story and telling it with us.
No problem. Thank you for wanting to hear. Thank you.